New MMA rival challenges. UFC signs 45 fighters, including 8 champions. The MMA landscape is about to get a shakeup as the Global Fight League, GFL, announces its official launch, bringing 45 ex-UFC fighters into its ranks. With UFC dominating the sport and other promotions like PFL, Bellator, and One Championship experiencing waning momentum, GFL is entering the scene with bold plans and a fresh approach. GFL founder Darren Owen revealed on the MMA Hour that the promotion has spent the past 2 years overcoming delays and building an impressive roster. The league now boasts an array of former UFC champions, fan favorites, and MMA legends, including champions Tyron Woodley, Anthony Pettis, Fabricio Werdum, and Luke Rockhold. Veterans Junior Dos Santos, Andrei Arlovsky, Thiago Santos, and Kevin Lee. Legends Frank Mir, Gegard Mousasi, and Alexander Gustafsson. This talent pool positions GFL as a serious contender in the MMA market, offering fans the chance to see some of their favorite fighters back in action. GFL plans to distinguish itself with a unique team-based format, reminiscent of the now-defunct IFL. Fighters will be divided into teams, creating a fresh dynamic for matchups and promotions. According to Owen, this structure is the next logical step for the sport of MMA, designed to provide fans with a new way to engage with events. Additionally, GFL is committed to addressing one of MMA's most hotly debated issues: fighter pay. The league promises a 50-50 revenue split with athletes, a move that could attract more fighters to its roster and set a new industry standard. GFL plans to hold its first events starting in April 2025. With high-profile matchups and the team-versus-team concept at its core, the promotion is poised to attract significant attention in its debut year. Fans are already speculating whether GFL has what it takes to rival the UFC, or even surpass other major promotions like Bellator and PFL. With a star-studded roster and an innovative format, the league has the potential to become a major player in the MMA world. Anthony Smith hints at a final fight. Anthony Lionheart Smith has opened up about his future in MMA following his second-round TKO loss to Dominic Reyes at UFC 310. Initially, Smith hinted at retirement, but now it seems he is considering stepping into the octagon one last time under the right circumstances. Speaking on MMA Today with Dean Thomas, Smith shared his conflicted feelings about retirement and his desire for a final fight that allows him to leave the sport on his terms. "There's a circumstance that probably exists where I would do one more. It would have to be the perfect scenario: timing, opponent, and situation." Smith acknowledged that for most fighters, a perfect send-off is rare, but he hopes to create a moment where he can fully prepare, knowing it's his last fight. "I want to put myself in a position where I know this is it. This is the last chance to get it right, to deliver the performance I've been craving." Smith emphasized the importance of finishing his career with intention, something he felt he didn't have going into UFC 310. "I hadn't even thought about retirement before this fight. Now I want the opportunity to go out on my own terms, to know going in that it's my last shot and give it everything." He admitted that his loss to Reyes was disappointing, but expressed a desire to show his best self one final time. "It would be nice knowing I only have to do this one more time." While Smith has not officially confirmed his next steps, his comments suggest that fans may see him in the octagon again for a farewell fight. The decision will likely depend on finding the right opponent and timing to ensure a fitting end to his storied career. MMA community blasts Colby Covington for controversial comments. In a recent press conference, Colby Covington stirred up controversy with his remarks about Belal Muhammad. Covington mocked Muhammad's injury, joking about an incident involving a Pedro supposedly causing an ankle injury. "I called the UFC when Belal had a Pedro on his foot, and he backed out because, I guess, the Pedro exploded on his ankle and messed up his toe, which is just weird. You guys need to ask Belal why he's wearing Pedros around his ankle. That's just weird. So he pulled out of the fight, and I called the UFC and volunteered to fight Shavkat." These comments have left the MMA community outraged, with fans and fighters calling Covington out for being disrespectful and unprofessional. Here is what MMA community has to say. Are people really shocked? Remember what he said about Leon's deceased father? "Colby is a disgusting person. Yeah, he's a nutshell. I was really hoping Leon knocked him out for that. He needs humbling." Jamahal Hill displeased with Alex Pereira winning Fighter of the Year. Jamahal Hill has publicly voiced his dissatisfaction with Alex Pereira being awarded Fighter of the Year at the 16th World MMA Awards. While Hill recognizes Pereira's impressive accomplishments, he firmly believes that Ilia Topuria was more deserving of the honor due to his incredible performances in 2023, particularly his back-to-back knockouts of top-tier opponents Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. In an interview with Helen Yee, Hill explained his perspective. "For me, the fighter of the year was Ilia Topuria. It was a toss-up between him and Alex. I saw Alex actually won it, and they're not wrong to give it to him. He stepped into some big moments, fought on major cards, and delivered great performances. But for me, the fighter that made me go, wow, this year was Ilia, especially with what he accomplished against Volkan Max." Hill emphasized that while Pereira had an outstanding year, it was Topuria's ability to dominate elite competition that stood out to him the most. He praised Topuria for his technical skills and ability to finish fights at the highest level, making his case for why Topuria should have taken the award home. However, Hill's commentary didn't stop there. He also shared details about a recent encounter with Alex Pereira at the UFC Performance Institute. According to Hill, the interaction became heated when Pereira tossed a pair of gloves in his direction, seemingly inviting him to spar. Hill described the moment as a show of confidence from Pereira, but made it clear he wasn't backing down. The situation escalated until others, including Pena Cruz and several team members, intervened to separate the two. Hill shed light on their ongoing online exchanges, which fueled the tension at the PI. He also took the opportunity to put Pereira on notice, stating that he's fully focused on making his way back into title contention. Hill warned Pereira not to make the move to heavyweight too soon, because he intends to reclaim the belt. "I just wanted to let him know I'm putting in the work to get back. Don't even think about moving up to heavyweight because I'm coming for that belt." Jamahal Hill has a big challenge ahead of him with his upcoming fight against Jiří Procházka in January. A win over Procházka could solidify Hill's position as a top contender in the light heavyweight division and set the stage for a potential clash with Pereira down the line. Colby Covington unleashes on Jon Jones and LeBron James. Colby Covington is no stranger to stirring the pot, and this week he didn't hold back during his media appearances. Covington took aim at UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones and NBA superstar LeBron James, delivering fiery comments that have once again put him in the headlines. The feud between Covington and Jones isn't new, but it's clear there's no love lost between the two former collegiate wrestlers. Covington alleged that Jon Jones told the UFC not to schedule Covington on cards headlined by him, fueling an already contentious relationship. Leading up to his fight with Joaquin Buckley this weekend, Covington was asked about Jones's recent victory over Stipe Miocic. His response was scathing. "Jon Jones is an absolute disgrace to this earth. He's a joke. Yeah, you beat Stipe, but let's be real. Stipe is past his prime. Respect to Stipe for being a first responder and putting his life on the line for his community, but Jon needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall just like he ducked Ngannou. He avoided Ngannou for years, and now he's dodging Aspinall because he knows he'll get exposed." Covington didn't stop there. He recalled their college wrestling days in an interview with the MMA guru, taking another shot at Jones. "Jon was always overrated. He wasn't the unbeatable guy people think he is. The truth is he's been cherry-picking opponents to protect his record." Jon Jones wasn't the only target of Covington's verbal assault. During his media day appearance, Covington also launched into a tirade against LeBron James, reigniting a long-standing feud. He referenced a 2020 quote from LeBron where he said, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," while on FaceTime with Sean Diddy Combs. Covington sarcastically questioned the NBA star's involvement in such parties. "I want to ask LeBron, what does he mean by 'there's no party like a Diddy party'? How many Diddy parties have you been to? Is that why you left social media? For all the backlash about these parties? It's pathetic. People think this guy is a role model, yet he's out here wanting to defund the police, the real heroes of America. LeBron, you're a scumbag, and I hope you end up in the same cell as Diddy." Covington's sharp words come as no surprise to fans familiar with his outspoken personality. Despite his repeated jabs, LeBron James has never responded to Covington's provocations. As Covington gears up for his fight with Joaquin Buckley, the MMA world will be watching to see if he can back up his trash talk in the octagon.